Amazon Prime charged $14.99 a month for something millions of people could start almost without thinking. A box at checkout, a free shipping promise, a trial that felt less like a commitment than a shortcut. Then, years later, the Federal Trade Commission said that same membership experience led to a $2.5 billion settlement, including $1.5 billion in refunds for consumers. That is the strange part. The monthly charge was small enough to disappear into the background. The refund pool was large enough to become national news. It is a money pattern most households recognize. The door in is smooth, and the door out has stairs. Picture a normal week. Someone orders a phone case, a bag of dog food, or a pack of batteries. They are tired. The checkout page offers speed, convenience, and shipping benefits. Maybe there is a free trial. Maybe a box is already selected. Maybe the difference between buying the item and joining the program is quieter than the promise of getting it faster. A month later, the charge lands again. For a while, it feels fine. Maybe they use it, maybe they do not. The charge is not catastrophic. $14.99 is not a car payment. It is not rent. It is exactly the kind of number that survives because it does not feel worth a fight. Then one day they decide to cancel. Now the energy changes. Joining felt like a door. Canceling feels like a hallway. They look for the right page. They read language about benefits they will lose. They click a button that sounds final. Then another screen appears. For a second, they wonder if they clicked the wrong thing. Maybe the service reminds them about shipping, video, deals, storage, or whatever else is bundled inside. Maybe the cancel path is not impossible, but it asks for just enough extra attention that a busy person can say, "Forget it, I will do this later." Later is where recurring charges go to survive. That is the human doorway into the Amazon Prime case, not a villain monologue, not a dramatic courthouse scene, a regular person, a regular charge, and the quiet feeling that stopping the payment takes more attention than starting it. The useful part is that this feeling is not a personality flaw. It is a design problem meeting a busy life. When money leaks feel private, people blame themselves. When the same pattern becomes a $1.5 billion refund story, the private confusion gets a name. Here is the factual core carefully. The Federal Trade Commission said Amazon agreed to a $2.5 billion settlement connected to Prime enrollment and cancellation practices. The Federal Trade Commission described that total as $1.5 billion in consumer refunds and a $1 billion civil penalty. The agency alleged that Amazon enrolled tens of millions of consumers in Prime subscriptions without their knowledge or consent and made cancellation difficult. Amazon settled the case. That is not the same thing as a criminal conviction, and it is not a promise that every Prime member gets money. The refund process has limits. The Federal Trade Commission says eligible customers may receive refunds of Prime subscription fees up to $51. Automatic refunds were sent in November and December 2025. In January 2026, claim notices began for eligible customers who did not receive automatic refunds. The relevant period listed by the Federal Trade Commission is from June 23, 2019 through June 23, 2025. If someone thinks they may be eligible, the clean advice is simple. Use official settlement or Federal Trade Commission sources, not random forms, not fee-charging middlemen, not anyone asking for money to get a refund. But the bigger lesson is not, go chase $51. The bigger lesson is that recurring charge design can move a lot of money by shaping tiny moments of attention. A single household sees a small monthly line item. A regulator sees millions of people moving through similar flows. A company sees a membership program at enormous scale. Amazon's 2025 annual report listed $49.619 billion in subscription services net sales, a category that includes Prime membership fees and other non-AWS subscription services. That is not Prime-only revenue, but it shows the size of the subscription world around this story. Small monthly decisions become large corporate math. That is why the case matters beyond one company. The mechanism travels. Any business can make yes feel effortless and no feel like homework. The wording matters too. If a script turns a settlement into a morality play, the viewer learns less. The practical lesson is not that one brand is uniquely strange. It is that a normal membership product can become hard to evaluate when the financial event is tiny and repeated. A one-time $180 charge would make many people stop and think. A $14.99 charge can pass under the emotional radar 12 times. Same rough annual zone, completely different attention pattern. That is why the human scale number and the system scale number belong in the same story. Up to $51 for an eligible person, $1.5 billion in refunds across the settlement. One number feels almost too small to fight for. The other proves small frictions can travel a long way. The phrase I would keep is friction asymmetry. One direction has low friction. The other direction has high friction. When money moves toward the company, the path is bright, short, and reassuring. Try it. Join now. Start today. Get benefits. Save time. When money is about to stop moving toward the company, the path becomes more demanding. Are you sure? You will lose this. You will lose that. Here is another option. Here is another screen. Here is a button that does not quite sound like the final button. The Federal Trade Commission has a broader phrase for some of these dark patterns. Its staff report describes design practices that can trick or trap consumers, including cancellation roadblocks in recurring payment contexts. But dark pattern can sound too dramatic for the everyday version. In real life, it often feels like a slow drag, not a wall, a slow floor. Each step is survivable. The problem is the sequence. Search the settings, find membership, find manage, find end, read the benefits, confirm again, watch for the email, check the next statement. A determined person can get through it. A tired person may not. That distinction matters because companies do not need to stop every cancellation. They only need to reduce enough cancellations at scale. One extra screen saving one account is just one account. One extra screen saving a small percentage across millions of accounts becomes a business result. This is where the story stops being about Amazon as a one-off and turns into a personal finance rule. Do not judge a subscription only by the price. Judge it by the exit. A good subscription makes leaving boring. A questionable subscription depends on leaving being annoying. One way to spot this in your own life is to compare verbs. The join verbs are exciting. Start, unlock, try, save, upgrade, claim, access. The leave verbs are heavier. Manage, continue to cancellation, confirm loss of benefits, proceed, decline offer, end membership. Even before money moves, the language is doing work. One side sounds like momentum. The other side sounds like responsibility. That does not make every word illegal or deceptive. It means the emotional gradient of the page matters. This is why a household rule has to be stronger than willpower. Willpower fights the page in the moment. A rule arrives before the page starts talking. The easy line is, people should just cancel. It is technically true and practically shallow. People do not live inside a clean decision room. They live inside work, kids, errands, passwords, emails, notifications, fatigue, and the low-grade embarrassment of not remembering what they signed up for. A recurring charge is powerful because it moves the decision from active to passive. You decide once, then the default decides every month after that. That is status quo bias in plain English. The current state gets an advantage because changing it takes energy. Loss aversion can join in too. If the cancellation screen emphasizes what you will lose, the service stops feeling like a monthly purchase and starts feeling like a bundle of benefits being taken away. Free shipping, faster delivery, videos, music, storage, deals, convenience. Even if you barely use half of it, the loss feels more concrete than the monthly savings. Then attention scarcity finishes the job. The person may not be irrational. They may be overloaded. A $14.99 charge competes with a meeting, a school pickup, a car repair, a grocery list, a medical bill, and 20 unread emails. If cancellation requires 10 uninterrupted minutes, the company is not only competing for money, it is competing for attention. That is why shame is a bad tool here. Shame makes people avoid the statement. Avoiding the statement protects the charge. The better emotion is curiosity. Not, how could I be so careless? More like, which charges are relying on me being too busy to review them? That question is calmer. It also finds more money. Once you see the pattern, the subscription stack looks different. There is the one you use every day and would miss immediately. There is the one you use in seasons. There is the one you signed up for during a crisis, a move, a trip, a school project, a tax season, a fitness push, or a work sprint. There is the one that came bundled with something else. And there is the one you kept because canceling felt rude to your future self. The mistake is treating all of them the same. Some subscriptions are infrastructure. They remove repeated work. They save time, support a job, keep a family organized, or genuinely make life better. Some are entertainment, which is fine if you actually use them. Some are identity rent. They make you feel like the kind of person who reads, learns, works out, organizes photos, cooks, meditates, invests, or watches serious documentaries while your actual week never touches the thing. And some are pure inertia. The bright relief move is not cancel everything. That usually fails because it feels like shrinking your life. The move is to sort the stack by job. The keep column means it clearly earns its place now. The pause column is for something useful in seasons, not every month. The cancel column is for something with no current job. Refund or claim check means there is an official process worth verifying, like the Amazon settlement source for eligible Prime customers, but only through trusted channels. A good subscription audit respects value. It does not punish you for spending. It asks each charge to explain what it is doing this month. That phrase, this month, changes the mood. You are not deciding whether the service is good forever. You are deciding whether it deserves the next billing cycle. Here is the routine I would use. Once a month, choose a subscription day. Same day every month, 15 to 20 minutes. Not a full budget meeting. Not a financial identity crisis. Open the card or bank statement where most recurring charges land. Search for the obvious words: Prime, subscription, membership, renewal, storage, app streaming, trial, annual, monthly. For each charge, put it into one of 4 columns. The keep column is for charges that earned the next month. The pause column is for seasonal services. The cancel column is for background noise. The refund column is for checking an official refund or claim source. Keep requires 1 sentence. I used this last month for this reason. The pause column is for seasonal services. You do not need to prepay for a future mood. If you want it later, you can rejoin later. The cancel column is for charges that have become background noise. Check refund or claim source is for cases where an official settlement, merchant policy, duplicate billing issue, or unused annual plan might create a legitimate refund path. The rule is simple. Use official sources. Never pay a fee to get a refund. And do not hand personal information to a random site because it promises easy money. When you cancel, take a screenshot of the final confirmation. Save the email. Put a 1-minute reminder on the next statement. Verify the charge stopped. That last step is boring, but it is the difference between feeling productive and actually closing the loop. The whole routine reverses friction, asymmetry. Companies made joining easy and leaving effortful. You make leaving scheduled, visible, and boring. That is the win. To keep the routine lightweight, do not start by categorizing every expense in your life. Start only with recurring charges. Recurring charges are special because the company already built the repeat action for you. Your job is not to rebuild the whole budget. Your job is to install a review step where the market removed one. I would also separate shared household subscriptions from personal subscriptions. A family streaming service, cloud storage plan, or delivery membership may have more than one user. That does not make it untouchable. It means the audit question becomes, who uses this and when? If nobody can answer clearly, the charge is coasting. If two people use it every week, keep it without drama. The best audit is calm enough that you will repeat it next month. The hard part is the moment the cancel flow starts arguing with you. That is where a tiny script helps. Before you click cancel, write one sentence at the top of a note. I am canceling because this did not earn the next billing cycle. Not because the company is bad. Not because you are broke. Not because you failed at discipline, because the next billing cycle has to be earned. Now, the warning screens have less power. When the page says you will lose benefits, you already know the answer. Those benefits did not beat the price this month. When it offers a discount, ask whether the discount changes usage or only delays the decision. When it offers a pause, pausing can be fine if the service is seasonal. But pause needs a date. An indefinite pause is just a softer version of not deciding. When it asks why you are leaving, choose the closest truthful option and move on. You do not owe a company an essay to stop a recurring charge. After cancellation, do not hunt for a perfect emotional feeling. You may feel a tiny loss. That does not mean the decision was wrong. It means the design showed you benefits before the savings had time to show up. The savings will be quiet. The charge simply will not appear. So give the absence a place to go. Put the saved amount toward a named line. Emergency savings buffer, repair fund, next vacation, debt payment, grocery cushion, or just a smaller credit card bill. Money that disappears into general checking is easy to forget. Money assigned to relief becomes visible. Refunds need their own rule because refund stories attract scams. The Amazon Prime settlement is a perfect example. A real official refund process can exist, and a fake opportunistic website can still exploit the attention around it. The Federal Trade Commission's consumer guidance is consistent on this point. Nobody legitimate will require you to pay money upfront to get a Federal Trade Commission refund. If someone asks for a fee, gift card, crypto payment, or bank password to help you receive a settlement payment, stop. For this specific case, the clean path is official Federal Trade Commission or settlement information. The Federal Trade Commission says automatic refunds went out to certain eligible customers in November and December 2025, and claim notices began in January 2026 for eligible customers who did not receive automatic refunds. The maximum refund listed is up to $51 in Prime subscription fees for eligible customers. That does not mean every viewer gets $51. It means the official process has a cap and eligibility rules. The broader household rule works beyond Amazon. When you see a charge you did not mean to keep, do three things in order. First, cancel or stop the renewal so the leak does not continue. Second, check the merchant's refund policy and any official settlement or regulator page if one exists. Third, if the charge is unauthorized, duplicated, or clearly wrong, contact the card issuer or bank through the number on the card or the official app. Do not start with a search result promising to recover money for you. Start with the party that already has a formal obligation: merchant settlement administrator, regulator, bank, or card issuer. Refunds are nice. Stopping the next charge is usually more valuable. It is tempting to make this sound like a conspiracy, but the normal business incentive is enough. Recurring revenue is valuable because it is predictable. Investors like it. Companies like it. Teams can forecast it. A customer who keeps paying without a new sale every month is economically different from a customer who must be won again and again. That does not make every subscription abusive. A good subscription creates repeated value and gets paid repeatedly for it. The problem appears when the payment repeats more reliably than the value. Design teams are often asked to reduce friction in the direction a company wants. Fewer steps to join, fewer abandoned carts, fewer moments where the customer pauses and reconsiders. But if that same design philosophy is not applied to leaving, the interface quietly becomes biased. This is why regulators focus on negative option, billing, and cancellation obstacles. A negative option means the customer's silence or inaction can result in continued charges. That model can be legitimate when consent is clear and cancellation is simple. It becomes dangerous when consent is muddy or cancellation is loaded with obstacles. As of March 2026, the Federal Trade Commission was still seeking public comment on amendments connected to negative option practices and unwanted recurring payments. So this is not a solved old issue. The argument over how easy cancellation should be is still alive. For viewers, the practical response is not waiting for every rule to be perfect. It is making your own household rule stricter than the marketplace rule. If a service cannot justify the next renewal, it does not get the next renewal. If cancellation takes too many steps, that is not a reason to give up. It is evidence that subscription day needs a timer, screenshots, and follow-up. There is a fairness test ordinary people understand without a law degree. If I can join online, I should be able to leave online. If the price renews automatically, the renewal should be visible before it happens. If a company uses plain language to sell the benefits, it should use plain language to explain cancellations. If the business is proud of the product, it should not need the customer's lost password, busy week, or confusion to protect revenue. Those are not extreme demands. They are basic symmetry. The market can still sell convenience. It just has to let the customer stop buying convenience with the same level of clarity. Now the important counterweight. Do not turn this into a crusade against every recurring charge. Some subscriptions are excellent. A cloud backup that protects family photos and work files can be worth it. A grocery membership that actually saves more than it costs can be worth it. A professional tool that helps you earn can be worth it. A streaming service your family uses every night can be worth it. A gym, therapy platform, medication service, language app, or news subscription can be worth it if it changes your actual week. The test is current value. Ask 4 questions. Did I use it last month? Would I notice within 7 days if it disappeared? Does it save time, protect health, create joy, reduce stress, or improve earning power? If the price doubled, would I still choose it, downgrade it, or cancel it? That last question is sharp because it separates value from inertia. If a doubled price would make you cancel instantly, the subscription may already be living on the fact that the current price is small enough to ignore. Small enough to ignore is not the same as worth keeping, but the reverse is also true. A subscription you use deeply may be worth defending. Cutting useful tools to feel disciplined while leaving invisible junk in place is backwards. The goal is not to spend the least. The goal is to stop funding dead weight so useful spending has room to breathe. That is bright relief. The money is not being dragged out of your life. It is being reassigned to places where you can feel it again. 2 edge cases deserve special handling: annual plans and free trials. Annual plans are seductive because they sell savings. Pay yearly. Save compared with monthly. That can be smart for services you know you use. It can also lock in 12 months of optimism after 2 weeks of enthusiasm. Before choosing annual, require proof of use. Use the monthly plan for 1 or 2 cycles first. If the service survives real life, then consider annual. If it fades after the launch excitement, you bought information cheaply. For existing annual plans, set the renewal reminder 30 days before the charge, not 1 day before. 1 day before creates pressure. 30 days before creates choice. Free trials need an even simpler rule. The cancellation reminder is created before the trial begins, not after. Not when you remember, before. If the trial requires a card, it requires a calendar reminder. Those 2 actions belong together. And if a company makes cancellation unclear during the trial, treat that as product information. A service confident in its value does not need your forgetfulness as part of the business model. This is the line I would write on the audit page. A discount is only a discount if I was going to use the thing anyway. Otherwise, the discount is bait for unused months. Annual plans, bundles, trials, and introductory offers all ask you to make a future commitment during a present moment of interest. Your job is to slow that moment down, not because you are suspicious of everything, because your future attention is valuable, and it should not be spent casually. Bundles need the same treatment. A bundle can be a real bargain when you use several parts. It can also hide weak products behind one strong product. The trick is to unbundle on paper before you unbundle in real life. Write down the parts you actually used in the last 30 days. Not the parts included, the parts used. Then ask what you would pay for those parts alone. If the bundle price still makes sense, keep it. If the bundle only looks good because the unused features make the list longer, the bundle is selling fullness instead of value. This works for memberships, software suites, phone plans, warehouse clubs, delivery programs, and premium cards. The company packages benefits together because bundles are sticky. You unpack them because clarity is cheaper. The Amazon Prime story is useful because it turns a familiar feeling into a visible pattern, easy in, harder out. Small charge, massive scale, private confusion becoming public evidence. But the best ending is not anger. Anger fades, and the statement still arrives next month. The better ending is a ritual. Once a month, make the invisible visible. Put every recurring charge into keep, pause, cancel, or check official refund source. Screenshot the confirmations. Verify the next statement. Give the saved money a place to go. That is not extreme. It is maintenance. Cars need maintenance. Houses need maintenance. Teeth need maintenance. Recurring charges need maintenance too. A subscription should not become a life sentence because it once solved the problem. It should keep earning the next month. Keep the subscriptions that work. Pause the seasonal ones. Cancel the coasting ones. Check refunds carefully. Never pay someone to get money an official process can send you directly. And when a company makes joining feel like one click and leaving feel like a maze, remember what that means. Your attention is part of the price. Spend it on purpose. That is the cleanest lesson from the whole case. Do not wait until a regulator, a lawsuit, a refund page, or a viral complaint tells you a charge deserves review. Build the review into the month while the amounts are still small and the choices are still yours. A good subscription earns renewal quietly. A weak one depends on you not looking. Looking is enough to change the math.